Now, we're bringing you next the refurbishing of the Briery Gap. There was a huge sum of money spent on the Briery Gap in the autumn, and I believe there was an excellent night at the reopening of the Briery Gap. So we're bringing that to you and all the speeches that were delivered that night.
Deputy Mayor of Macroom, Councillor Pat O'Connell. Deputy Mayor of County of Cork, Councillor Martin Coughlin. Distinguished guests, councillors as well, both town councillors and county councillors. And as I say, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, you're all very welcome here this evening for a very auspicious occasion of the reopening of the Briery Gap after a major refurbishment. So without further ado, I'm going to call on Councillor Pat O'Connell, Deputy Mayor of Macroom Town Council, to address you.
Thank you, Noel. Deputy Mayor of Cork County, fellow councillors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to apologise for our Mayor, Councillor Lucy, who can't be with us here tonight. But on behalf of the members of Macroom Town Council, I am delighted to say that we were delighted to be involved in making a substantial amount of money available for this refurbishment project here in the Briery Gap. Now, Macroom, I suppose, is fortunate to have a building like this because this is a focal point in Macroom Town and has been since the penicillin was built here in the early 50s. We were fortunate, I suppose, that Cork County Council had the vision to buy this building about 20 years ago. And then with some local fundraising here in the town, they went ahead with the project of providing a modern library and a modern theatre and cinema here from Macroom. And any town in this country would be proud to have a facility like this inside in the main street of your town. I myself are involved in the Briery Gap as a member of the board, and when it was mentioned first day that we go on a refurbishment project here, the chairman, Noel Driscoll, said that he had a lady in mind who was working with Cork County Council, and enter Fiona O'Keefe, the interior designer. As chairman of the housekeeping committee, I worked along with Fiona, and I must say she is excellent at her job. She did a fabulous job here at the theatre. She was the project manager for the whole thing. And Fiona, thank you very much. Would you give a big round of applause, please? As I say, Macroom Town Council and Cork County Council, we're involved here in this theatre for the last 13 years since it opened. We're making funding available on a yearly basis to the theatre. But I just want to note a little note of caution here, that in 2014, Macroom Town Council may no longer exist. I'm not saying it anymore because I'm for one end, we're fighting hard to keep the council in Macroom because Macroom needs a council. But I'm just saying as a note of warning that if we're gone, the funding that we're making available to this theatre will probably go with us. Which means that we have to do extra fundraising and extra work and concerts here in order to keep the building open. I'd like to compliment the staff at the library under James Dean, who's the head librarian under, because that's another fabulous facility for the town. And I'd also like to compliment the management here in the Briery Gap, that's Andrew and our staff, for the way this theatre was run and has been run over the last 13 years. And it's very few places can say that because we know about theatres around the country that are not making money, but the Briery Cap is open and is going from strength to strength. What I can say to you as a Macrompian, this is your theatre, and to all those who come on stage here, and I know that a lot of people give their time voluntary and shows and all that, I say thank you very much, keep up the work and make sure that this theatre is kept open. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pato, very much indeed for that, those words of wisdom and encouragement. Now we'll call on the Deputy Mayor of County of Cork, Councillor Martin Coughlin, to address you.
Chairman, Deputy Mayor Macroom, Michael Creed, County Councillor, Town Councillors, fellow colleagues. It is a great honour for me to stand up here tonight to represent the Mayor of the County, Noel O'Connor, who couldn't make it, or maybe, I think maybe Noel kindly stepped aside as I'm a Macrompian to let me do the honours here tonight. As Deputy Mayor of Cork County, I am very proud to be officiating at this ceremony to mark the occasion of the relaunch of the Briery Gap Cultural Centre, incorporating theatre, cinema and library, following a major refurbishment programme. I must pay tribute to the management and councillors of Cork County Council and Macroom Town Council for their immense financial support for this project. Not only for this capital investment exceeding €100,000, but also for the annual investment since the venue opened in 1998. I am also very impressed with the vision of the Board of Directors of the Briery Gap to take on this project in very challenging times, and for the support of the businesses and the general public in fundraising to meet the balance required, which I understand is in the region of €35,000. This venue is of great significance in Macroom and the surrounding district, not only from the cultural perspective, but also the business it brings to the town, and your ongoing support for this is vital. The local authority will continue to support and invest in venues such as the Briery Gap, and looking at the list of events scheduled between now and next February, I am very confident that the Briery Gap will only go from strength to strength. Cork County Library plays a crucial role in the promotion of both literacy and culture. This evening, libraries throughout the county are open late to celebrate Culture Night. Macroom is in a unique position of having both its theatre and library housed in one building. A close working relationship has been fostered between both sets of staff. The previous county librarian, Ruth Flanagan, advocate in promoting the libraries through the county. The new county librarian is Eileen O'Brien, who is present tonight, and this function marks our first official event in this new role. We wish her well in her new role and look forward to a close working relationship with her. As the Deputy Mayor of Macroom already said, it was great vision by the people of the time when the old cinema closed down here and was in a derelict state for many years. They decided to take a chance, and they bought it with a view probably to, at the time, maybe just the library, but as it went on, with the local talent, the fantastic local talent we have in this town, they also see the opportunity to open a theatre called cinema. The manager in Macroom at the time was a man by the name of Mr. Des Wickstead, and Des was a man that I know myself personally, and when an idea was put in, he never backed off. Money was never a problem with Des, he found it somewhere. So a team came together of Des Wickstead, James Kelly, who was the architect in the town at the time, and James's work throughout the town is there for everyone to see and will be there forever. We also had an energetic town clerk at the time by the name of Noel O'Driscoll, who was here on the stage tonight, and we had Ruth Flanagan from the library. Now, those people drove this project forward, and you see what's here in front of us tonight, a theatre that any town in Ireland, probably some cities, would be proud to have. It's not easy to keep centres like this open, and in particular, as the Deputy Mayor has just said to you, the town councils are being abolished next May, and that is that is going to be a big blow to towns like Macroom, Clonakilty, and other towns around us, Mallow, and who had town councils their own. Now, people might have thought the best of town councils, and a lot of people said, yeah, look, get rid of them, they're doing nothing anyway. But I can assure you this much: tis when the well runs dry, tis then you'll know what the town council and councillors have been doing for their towns throughout the county of Cork. We have a fantastic facility. It was 13 years in operation before the revamp, and when I walked, I didn't come in here while the work was in progress. I said I'd leave it till tonight, and when I walked in, I could only gasp, and when I looked at this theatre and see the revamp and how well it looks tonight. And we have, as I said earlier in my speech, we have a lot of local talent, good talent, excellent talent, and they were the group that won the Gay Burden, or maybe if you remember that Gay Burden show, where societies from throughout the country participated, and under the good hand of Andon, our own group here, won that competition, and the money that came from that went a long ways towards building this theatre and helping to put it where it is today. They played here. They played in Cork in the Opera House, and they were second to none that I ever heard anyway. And I hope they're all still around, and that they will be all seen here on this stage again in the near future. In conclusion, I must restate my comments that the Briery Gap will be a mainstay in the life of the town and district of Macroom. And I challenge you, the business people, the ordinary citizens of Macroom and district, to ensure that this happens and that this theatre will be here and be revamped in another 20 years' time again for future generations. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Martin. Well, here we are. It's very easy for me to finish off the speeches at this stage. I just want to remind everybody that today and tonight is Culture Night, nationally Culture Night. And there are a lot of events happening around the county and around the country. And we're very fortunate that we were able to have this project ready for a relaunch tonight. Both deputy mayors referred to the board of directors of the Briery Gap, and I just think it's appropriate that I would name them in person right now. They include Councillor Pat O'Connell, representing Macroom Town Council. Locally there's Paul Collins, Cormac Shield, and John Vaughan, representing the community here. And then Liz Barry, James Dean, Ian McDonough and myself are representing the Cork County Council interest on the board of directors. And I was just trying to tot up there in my head over the last since the venue opened in 1998 99, there would have been a collective investment in excess of €1 million by the local authorities in this venue. And again, that's an enormous investment in the town of Macroom, and has a great vote of confidence in the management of the venue here. I suppose both deputy chairman or deputy mayors have adverted to the history of the venue here, which was built in the 1950s as a palace cinema and closed in the 1980s. Unfortunately, probably the significance of the demise of cinema at the time, and as they said, purchased by the county council in the late 80s for the development of a county library. Very briefly, but what they didn't think of was that there was people like Anne Dunn looming in the background here with a plan, or as I say, in the infamous words of Martin Luther King, Anne and her cohorts had a dream. And they went to Noel Dillon, who was the then county manager, with their idea that they would fundraise for this venue in the mid-1990s, and having won the award of €10,000, they went on to raise a massive amount of money here for this venue. They raised, I think, the order of £80,000 at the time. The total investment in the project was between 400 and €450,000. That was for the combined library, theatre, cinema. So that was a significant investment at the time. And after being opened by the then Mayor of the county, Councillor Thomas Ryan, in 1999, I recall, 15 years have passed or more, and in that time, believe it or not, there have been in the order of 1,500 shows of various sorts. A lot of them voluntary shows, manned and run by people like yourselves there, and a lot of the volunteers and cast that are present here tonight. A tribute to you all, really. And in that time, over 150,000 patrons have filed through the doors here. So we will have another milestone when we hit the 200 to 250,000, and we'll have a special celebration then. We won't give you details yet, but that's the target we have. We work in groups here on the board of directors. Liz Barry, who's our financial manager in Cork County Council, heads up the finance working group, and that's a vital component of the operations here. And Liz put in Trojan work and was very instrumental in convincing Ger Power, the financial controller, and Martin Reardon, the county manager, that this was worth investing significantly in once more, in very difficult times and in trying times. And the management received tremendous support from the members of Cork County Council here, Councillor Creed and Councillor Coughlin, and all the other councillors representing you from this area here. So they need to be acknowledged and deserve those accolades. And again, there are other elements to it that go unnoticed here. Pat O'Connell, again now, Pat heads up the housekeeping committee here and has done tremendous work in working with the project team here, the contractors and the project architect, Fiona, in delivering this. We've all had input, but I think those two need a special mention. And I think the Deputy Mayors have already mentioned James Dean. James, since he replaced Ruth Flanagan on the board, has been extremely positive and helpful in every aspect of the cooperative nature between the library and the cinema. And no task is too big or too small for him, so I'd like to thank him as well. So going forward, and that's where we have to look at now. What do we do to make this continue to be the vibrant venue it was? We need to be more inclusive, even more inclusive, and even to be more welcoming. So every one of you will help in that respect by attending shows and spreading the gospel, as it were. Because I suppose one thing that both councils recognised, that we needed to market this place even more aggressively and in a more sustainable way. So we would welcome input from the general public as to how we would do that. We would welcome your cooperation. We would welcome your volunteerism, because the volunteers that stand at the door there for most shows and that take part in the productions are the lifeblood of it. So we need more volunteers. And I suppose that's one of the things that, with the demise of the Celtic Tiger, we see a return to the volunteerism and the more community spirit. So long may that continue here. And if any of you feel that you can help in any way, we'd certainly like to hear from you. I know I'm going to forget something, but anyway, I'm going to move on. And again, we want you to join with us here afterwards for some refreshments, and afterwards we're having an informal musical get-together in the Castle Hotel. And so you know what that means when Donal and Kevin O'Brien and the likes get together. That's going to be a very good night. To thank again the Deputy Mayors of the county and the town for officiating here this evening and for their support in securing funding for the venue. and also to their fellow county councillors and town councillors for their ongoing support and commitment. To the management of Cork County Council, to the county manager, and to Gerard Power, the financial controller, and to Liz Barry and all, we're extremely grateful. And I'll come back to I really want to thank the sponsors who have sponsored seats and made very valuable financial contributions and donations. We're very grateful for that, and we haven't achieved our target of 35,000, but we're well on the way to that. And there are more seats still for sale, or not for sale. Effectively, they're for sponsorship. So a lot of them have been sponsored to date. We'd also like to thank Paddy Barry there, who has kindly arranged to sponsor the paint for the venue, which was indeed very welcome, and we're delighted that he's here to attend tonight. On the marketing side, I'd like to acknowledge the excellent work done by Niamh Looney and more recently Julie Crowley from Mucrumee, who is really getting stuck into the marketing of the venue. That's a vital component. So again, we would welcome any help and assistance that we can get in that. And we acknowledge the ongoing and very, very valuable commitment we get on a weekly basis from Sean and Maura McSweeney through the Lee Valley Outlook, and to Dan Joe Keller, who is a stalwart in the community with his productions, and he's here again tonight, so I hope he's going to edit this speech of mine a little bit anyway. And again, I restate the commitment of the volunteers, and I want to thank them. I won't go into individuals because there's such a long list, I could go on for the whole night. To the staff of the Briery Gap equally, and in particular, Anne Dunn, I would extend a very the board of directors, to the members of the press, and to people who display posters all over the Lee Valley. Thank you very much. To Pat Barry Murphy. Pat has been here all week, literally living in the bar downstairs. I don't mean he's been drinking now, but Pat has been bringing his experience and expertise in kitting out the bar for us and ensuring that that is going to be a success going forward. So thank you very much, Pat, for that. Bridget is up there on sound as well, doing her usual. We were welcomed here this evening by the musicians on stage, who will be back again, I think, and the Linehans family, who won a major award very recently. So give them a special round of applause. That was very helpful for me, because I was just trawling down through my list to make sure I didn't forget anybody, but invariably I will. I would like to thank the Castle Hotel for the excellent food and the service. So I think that brings me to the end of my words, other than to say, look, you all have picked up the latest brochure, which runs by and large up to February next month, and I'm sure there'll be more additions to that, because we haven't really set about devising a very comprehensive cinema program yet, and we'd certainly like to see the cinema element taking off again. Because you have absolutely the ideal venue for it now. It has been tailored to suit the cinema, it's been darkened down, it's been made plush, it's been made very comfortable. So again, we hope to do a little working group on that as to how we can get the cinema back up and strong again. Again, I suppose, it's not necessarily keeping the best point to last, but a special mention was made about my former colleague there, Seamus Barry, who did immense work here in town, but an immense work here in the Briery Gap. Because I know he spent night and day in consultation with and in discussion with the various community interests here, John Vaughan and all the others who were giving their time to the original design. And I know Seamus is here tonight, and we thank him very much. Legacy really that he has left this town with here. No, that's it. And could I just ask our Deputy Chair, Liz Barry, just come up and say what I want to do, and Fiona O'Keefe as well. I know she'll tell me now, but I want to just make a small presentation to Fiona for her extraordinary work, because she must have the patience of Joe dealing with all the various disciplines, contractors, employers, and you name it. She's come across it, and she's come through with flying colours. I'm sure you'll agree with the way this venue has turned out here. It is, in my view, and in the view of the Board of Directors and the councillors here, a state-of-the-art venue that will bring us into for the next 30 or 40 years, which will see us all out. Okay, thank you very much. And where's Andrew? I want Andrew to come up as well for a photograph there.
This is a bigger job than I thought. Hey, afraid to God, though. It brings back memories of 14 years ago when I started out first.
Sorry about this intrusion now, but you know, and I knew I'd forget somebody. John O'Sullivan here is another great supporter and a great advocate of the Briery Gap and his work as well. I was going to say, I think our maintenance do have a small bit of work still to do here, so look, will you bear with them for a moment, please?
You're all high. Just come here a second. Is it tomorrow night you're here, or is it tonight? I was told this tomorrow. Are you here tonight? But you're supposed to be here tomorrow night. No, Driscoll! You told me to come in and finish off. And it was tomorrow night this thing was on and we could work all night. No, that's just typical. It was the same 14 years ago. But look, in all fairness, the Briery Gap feels good to me. For I'm expected usually since. That's what I was. I was Paddy the Painter 14 years ago. But now I'm Paddy the Painter and Mick and Associates Limited. And I have a card there, look. Seeing as you're here tonight, when you should be here tomorrow night. You would never know. Don't call us, we'll call you. I have my associate, Mick. He's coming along. He was finishing up the zebra crossing for the council and a bit of a foxhole. 1 second there. And we ran out of white paint, so if you see a black zebra crossing, take no notice. Mick, what on earth?
Jesus, don't look at me away. They never got that white.
Come on, will you?
Got that white.
There's a fight.
You always let me do the heavy work.
And you gave that door an awful bang. That door was 200,000 and it's
200,000?
Yes. That's what I had. No,
I can't look back.
Right to the fight, I have to do everything. You give me that. Right. Didn't I? Hold on a minute. Didn't I tell you?
What you tell me now?
I know you thought there was going to be nobody here tonight because it was supposed to be on Andy, but it's tonight.
Tonight? What's that tonight?
You put on no white socks. What are you doing with them brown socks? You're a holy show.
I got out the wrong side of the bed, I'd say.
I have a fierce reputation as a painter. Look.
You're a genius.
Just watch what I'm doing.
You're a genius.
Watch what I'm doing.
Genius.
And follow me.
Follow
you. Won't go wrong.
I won't go wrong.
And you might get the white vest and the long pants.
Oh my God.
If you think so progress to that. Just follow me. Do you know the dress again? No, isn't it?
Do you know?
Is it? Is that right?
Do you know? We need a great job of it.
We can't take out the tradition. For we were first busy and we couldn't finish it off, but some other fella came in and they were on to us, to finish it.
Finish it as usual.
Do you know what is damn nice?
Do you know something? Do you know something, Penny?
What is it, Mick?
I think I like that queue better on this one than
The
the
leather there?
seat. A nicer queue, isn't it?
Yes, I don't know what the is damn nice there, and a lovely aim there where that man is sitting.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lovely ale. No, they've done a nice little job.
Nice job, nice
So I
job.
know, and we go down here now.
Stop! Shh!
What's that, Schmidt?
I did nothing, Jack!
I know I have a sausage. Oh, Jack! What Schmidt? I can spell it.
I can smell it.
Just coming off the wall.
Just pure tuppence water coming off the wall.
Well, you're afraid that's going to come down.
Come down!
I could see, how he wants us to do the job.
There's a job in the job to be fixed
No,
here.
here, toss there now then. Come down.
Hi. Penny, when you gave the quotation, that corner over there wasn't there at all. Did you see the corner over
What's
there?
it to do?
Hey!
Driscoll, where are you?
Driscoll!
Yeah.
When we quoted for this job, you'll have to put in a corner since.
Look at the corner over there.
There was no corner in that during the week.
I didn't see any corner anyway.
But no again.
Walnut.
No,
Yeah,
sir. Don't care.
typical. County Council.
There was one thing he said to me, alright.
What did he say?
When we're painting the walls,
Yeah.
we can't put the ladder up against them.
What?
No, he said that alright.
We can't put the ladder up
Health and
against them.
safety and things.
Health and safety.
Yes.
We
No.
can't. Yeah. So we'll have to do it.
What time is it?
Quarter past.
Jesus, take it away.
Alright. No problem.
Twill be penny the paint on his own in future. There'll be no more associates.
Thumbs up. There we go again.
All that service and gas is going.
Look, touch it. Have we done the orange box?
I suppose we better drive on. Yeah, a second. Would you mind? Would you want the ladder first? Yes. Thanks very much. Thanks very much. No, you have to stand up. You have to stand up. You have to look at it. Very much. Thank you. No. You want the ladder there? No. And we'll have one bit of a break. Are you feeling? Are you going to have a long break after this? Oh, no, sir. We'll have a bit of lunch. It is a quarter past.
It's a cost press. What did what did you get? I got nothing.
Come here, no. What did you get this morning for lunch?
I got nothing for this morning.
You didn't saw?
I did not. I got a banana.
Give me a look at it there. Cheese the damn for you. It's a damn nice banana.
It's a funny banana.
Cheese indeed, no.
I have a good one. What did the banana say to the doctor?
Going to know. What did the banana say to the doctor?
I'm not peeling well. Come on, we better get back home. Come on, quick, come on. No, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you to bit.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you to bit.
Big pass me, all right?
No,
You
sir.
know money made for this job? No. Why don't you?
I need someone to help me.
Come up here, please. No, come up here. Really now, we need to start together. Just as simple as that, look. No. You don't know again. No, wait, no, thanks very much. Yes, no, thanks very much. No, sir. I tell you what to do.
Yeah.
You paint the ceilings, and I'll paint the wall. After the wall.
I paint the ceilings.
After the wall now.
Are we supposed to paint it from a distance?
No, sir. Are you right here? I tell you now, they'll be talking about those hurlers, in a couple of weeks' time.
Hurlers?
That's right. And the wristwork.
The wristwork?
They attack the ball, but Perry attacks the ball. We'll be talking about wristwork like the ball. I tell you now. One,
I'm about 2 feet off it. Come here, there's a problem here. Penny, there's a problem here.
Hold on. Stop everything. Right, you got into my thing myself. There's one criteria.
What one criteria is that?
Rule number one.
Rule number one.
Any big job has to be measured.
Measured?
Correct and right.
Correct and right.
No. You go over there, and I get out my technology. No, sir. Korean bit. Stop! No.
Come here, how's the cough? How's the cough, Penny?
I feel looking at my cough is gone.
Is it gone? Well,
No, stay there now. No, sir.
take that there. What's that, no, Mick? About 6 inches higher.
Come on. Put away the technology, and we have to do it manually, like I did it in my father's time. And look what I got for you. No, sir. I step it out.
Oh. 20! I'm back at 24!
For goodness sake. What time is it?
3:15.
Oh, Sean, it was lovely. Thanks so much. I wish we could have it. Oh, how's that, man? How's that, man? She's over there. I'm going to get out. No, sir. Oh, this is grand, isn't it?
This is great.
Oh. Come here. Oh, thanks very much. No, we were going to paint it white, actually. I have a preference for red, just because there's a good bit of red in it already. I have a dark green and white, maybe. I will.
Is it cheese and wine they have here tonight?
Yes.
Yeah, typical. The little rats and poison and vermin in there.
You are a master craftsman at your job. The same as myself.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Come here, why didn't you just give you a book or something about that going to be a
That book was useless.
Was it useless?
Had to know a lot together.
Yeah.
There was no 50 Shades of Grey inside it anyway. No. It was full of 50 Shades of Blue.
Oh, 50
Yeah.
We're supposed to take the grey,
For
wasn't it?
goodness sake.
Yeah, it's typical.
Is that Joe Duffy up there?
Is that Joe Duffy?
I can't know that.
Is that Duffy?
This is Duffy.
Duffy, it's it.
How did Joe? He did when he did.
He did at 14.
He did.
He did.
I made him.
You made him?
Nobody helped him.
Until you
Until he
until Penny the painter came down.
No.
Come on.
No, he's actually pretty on. Did he finish it, you know? And then the change it all. Really?
Nothing whatsoever.
Right.
I know. No change at all.
I swear to God, there's a drop down. Let's see, it could be coming down. Come here.
We better put a few of these up.
Go over here, sir, there, please. No,
There's a drop down here, lad.
I don't want to let keep the glass in anyway. No.
There's a drop.
I don't have to do it.
Penny! There's why are they doing this at all? There seems to be two everything. You see that, lad? What's that for? I wonder.
I don't know. Oh, I have a church, and that's why they call it the Briery Gap. But that's
Well, it's very appropriate, isn't it? Very appropriate. Yeah, very appropriate.
Hey!
What's wrong?
There's a thing up in the back here, Jim Murray furniture. What did I want to do when he take that away with him? He'd want that to go home with him.
He was a horse.
And then have nothing did.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
There'll be plenty gaps
Hey,
there.
what time is it? We better hurry up.
Half past.
Hurry up, go ahead off quick. We've hardly know, I tell you.
I'm in the zone, I must put that down there.
No, sir. I can't. No, I can't. No.
Way down in the county Galway, a place they call Tralee. Stop! Stop! What's wrong?
Sing that again.
Way down in the county Galway, and a place they call Tralee. Stop! Stop! No, what's wrong?
Sure, everybody knows that Tralee is an antrim.
Will you help me singing this song so?
Have a fine voice.
Will you help me sing on the count of three? A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3. Way down in the county Antrim, in a place they call Tralee, a fine old woman they did bid and Kate and Pat McEgan, from the hills I down the valley, and I want you all to stop.
What's wrong, Nick?
I really don't hear it all. What's it supposed to be like?
Shows, I'd say.
What type of shows?
Shows.
Shows?
Yeah, I can remember there 2 years ago. They had a pantomime on.
What the pantomime?
They had it was about 2
Do you know who was brilliant? It was Donny and Noddy.
Oh,
Give him the red card.
I know.
Yeah.
I always thought that there was a bit of show business in us too. We
We
could perform, all right.
Would you think so?
Yeah,
we could perform. Could we perform? Do you know something? I think we could. Are we waiting for Kevin O'Brien, wherever he is?
We'll drive on.
Drive on! That's
All together, lads, all, every one of you.
There's no business like show business like no business I know. Everything about a little bit.
Everything that traffic will allow.
That feeling when you are singing that is the crowd. There's no people like show people that smile when they are low. Let's go on with the show. There's no people like show.
We will head on.
We'll be here on.
We will, let's continue on, and thank you very much.
Travis and Briery. Round of applause for them, please. One final thing to do, and that's to ask Councillor Martin Coughlin just to formally declare the venue relaunched.
After that performance, it gives a great pleasure indeed to reopen the revamped Briery Gap and hope that there will be many more good shows, and that we will see Patrick and Kevin back in action in the pantomimes in the years to come. Thank you very much. The place is reopened, and I hope that people look forward to it.